Welcome to episode 2 of the Piqua Boys Basketball Coaches Show. I'm your host, AJ Ganger. With me, Coach Brett Cobb. Coach, thank you for joining us again.
Appreciate it.
We're going to probably be doing this a little bit more often than what we said in the beginning, which is hopefully just fine with you.
Yeah, I can make it work.
So, Coach, 3 games in the book, 3 W's. Talk a little bit about those 3 games.
It was kind of an unknown. We've only had 1 week of practice before we played Xenia. Didn't know how we were going to have our basketball legs or not. The kids have really bought in defensively, which is why we're winning games. All three games we've played really well, both ends of the floor in spurts, but not a full 4 quarters yet. So that's exciting to see once we get to that spot how well we can be. Yeah,
I mean, you guys got up pretty big there in the beginning against Xenia, and then Xenia kind of started making a little bit of comeback. It just seems like we couldn't get a basket to fall during that game. It
was one of those things where we didn't have a scrimmage. This was literally their first competition against somebody else. So it was for us to be able to hold on to that was that says a lot about our kids, their competitive spirit, and so that was nice. And hopefully, the more we get in against other opponents, we'll be just fine.
And you guys just played a game last night against Greenville, winning that 68-43. How did that game go last night on the road?
It was the first time on the road. We didn't have the student section energy that we have here. So, when you're on the road, you got to bring your own energy from somewhere. We didn't start with that energy. It was 4-1, 4-2 early on. Called a timeout, and I kind of let them know we got to bring it every possession and defend and sit down and guard. And once we started doing that, it was we started running away with it.
Now it's probably a little weird, seeing a basketball schedule that starts out with 3-4 non-conference games or conference games, then going into non-conference. What has that been a little bit maybe a different feel for you as when you're coaching, as opposed to coaching against a non-conference team as it is playing conference teams here early and then have to turn around and play them again?
Well, it is really weird playing them again. I've never had the double the conference schedule, so it is a little bit different. But I knew going in, you only get 4 non-league games. So regardless of how I felt about it, it was going to be that way. And I'm more worried about getting our guys ready every day, watching the film, correcting mistakes. I don't really care about who we're playing, just that we're playing and getting better and playing together.
Now, I heard a story on Friday night after the Stebbins game. You were a little hot. These kids weren't used to playing with a lead, and they kind of got a little lazy a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, you were trying to use it, I'm sure, as a teaching moment. Talk a little bit about that and what you saw that you guys could have kept doing better.
I'm a big believer in, the mentality of winning and competition, and, you got to believe you're going to win, but you're going to do it the right way.
Yes.
And I thought that they got out of what got us to that 20-point lead, and it was more of some of our guys were like, okay, I can score, I can take some ill-advised shots, and we're trying to set a tone with the program that for the whole 32 minutes we're going to do it the right way. It's going to be the way we're taught every day in practice. And yes, I had to call a timeout, and I say light them up a little bit.
Yes.
But they responded right away. They sat down, they guarded, they took good shots, they got to the rim, and we finished out the win the way we needed to.
There's just a little difference seeing this team having leads and stuff and trying to play with those leads. They're still trying to work out the kinks. And I know you are too. Now that you're a few weeks into the season, everyone's starting to get back in that basketball spirit, I should say.
Yeah, they're starting to figure out, and they're still learning me again. It was a weird summer, not much of a preseason, so they're starting to learn who I am, and I'm still trying to learn who they are, and they're starting to understand who I am as a person and the program I want. So I think that's a big deal.
So we don't have a game until next week, being Friday, being Christmas Eve, and that's the holiday tournament. Here we host a big tournament every year, 4 teams. Winners play winners, losers play losers. We got Graham, Troy Christian, and Fairlawn. We play Fairlawn the nightcap game on Wednesday, I believe. Are you excited about this tournament? It's an early season tournament. A lot of high school teams don't play in season tournaments.
It was exciting when I was at Bethel and I played in it. I mean, it's good. It's nice to be able to scout somebody in person while you're getting ready to play. It's kind of a tournament type feel. You go, you watch, you play, you get ready for the next game. We got really good teams coming, good coaches, good players. It's going to give us a test to really go back to back for the first time, which we haven't done, and we're going to have to we have an NBA schedule in January, so we're going to have to do that a lot. So that's will be a good part for us too.
Yeah, speaking of the NBA schedule in January, I was looking at our January games. Of the 11 games in January, 8 of them are on the road. How are you going to pull that one off? 8 games on the road, that's tough.
It's just about competitive grit and spirit, and the want to. Like we talked about, it's because of football. It's a good thing, football,
Yes.
but it's something that we're just going to have to deal with. We play every week. We play 3 games a week, and we're going to have to ease up on their legs a little bit and do a lot more board study and film study, and just go from there.
Now, not only does the varsity get a play in this tournament coming up too, JV has a bracket of their own. What do you think that does for the JV players?
It does. They get to play different opponents. It gives them a little bit of a break to not be around us the whole time. Mm-hmm. It'd be good for a little more crowd, a little more holiday spirit. They're not in school, so they get to have a little bit more leeway what they do throughout the day. And our kids those JV kids are coming around. They struggled early. And they're my scout team in practice. That's just kind of how it works and what we do. So it'll be good for them to kind of get some time on their own and just play.
Now, our player spotlight this episode will be Dre'Sean Roberts. Talk about Dre'Sean Roberts a little bit and what he means to the team.
Dre'Sean is a really quiet kid outside the basketball floor, but when he steps between those lines, he gets after it. We're still growing with the leadership. Young kid who's not much of a vocal leader. He's really working on that part of it, and he's obviously very, very talented. He's averaging about 19 a game. Can do almost anything on the floor that we ask him to. And when he defends somebody, when he sits down and guards them, his point total is just going to go up because he's really bought in on that end, and he is really, really talented as a defender.
One thing I do notice about him, he does lead us in scoring a lot, but he's a very unselfish player.
Oh yeah, he will do what it takes. It's not about me. It's about as kids get older, they realize I just want to win. And I don't know how it was in the past, but that's everybody's main focus is they want to win, they want to get better, and they want to have a successful season in the long run. And you have to do that by sharing the basketball. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. And he's the leader of that, so that helps us a lot.
Well, Coach, again, we thank you for
Appreciate
taking the time to be with us. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you at the holiday tournament. We're going to talk to Dre'Sean Roberts coming up next here on the Piqua Boys Basketball Coaches Show. Hello and welcome to the second part of the Piqua Indians Coaches Show here on the Indian Nation Station. I'm AJ Ganger, with me, Dre'Sean Roberts. Dre, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. So you guys have had some big wins already so far this season. 3-0 on the year. You played Xenia. West Carrollton game unfortunately got canceled. And then the win against Stebbins and Greenville last night. Talk a little bit about how this year's been different.
I think we're taking more serious now. The last couple of years, nobody really took it serious, and it's starting to turn around now, so it should be pretty good.
So what's it been like transitioning from that football season that lasted a long time, and then you had a week or two off, right into basketball? What was that transition like?
A lot of my legs had to get under the basketball court, so it was a lot. Then my other teammates, I played football too, so it was just getting all the plays together and everything. So it was kind of hard at sometimes, but it was cool.
Now you guys had a lead against Stebbins, and I heard Coach was a little hot after the game. Yeah. You guys just aren't used to playing with that big of a lead. What was that like? You guys had a lead for the first time, and what was it like trying to play like that?
It was really different. It was cool. It was exciting. It was just all the fans coming out now, and when we're up so many points, you think it's always about 0-0 in the second half. So don't think ahead. So they could come back and win the game.
So you guys have a chance to be 4-0 and then 5-0 going into the holiday tournament. What are you looking forward to most in that holiday tournament?
Winning the whole thing, really. It's the most important thing. 1-0 every game. It should be fun, and Christmas break too. So this should be all good together.
So you have a new coach, obviously, Brett Cobb. What's it like playing for Brett Cobb opposed to the other coaches that you've been playing for?
He's a really good coach. Everybody likes him. His first thing is always want to know. Work hard every day. He's always big on about attitude and stuff like that. That's a big part. And he's a really good coach.
Hey, we've had some attitude problems in the past,
Yeah.
but it seems like you guys are learning to play together as one, as opposed to it being one person being the whole show.
Yep, we play as a team now.
What are some of the things your teammates are saying, do you think?
He's more. I'd say he's more vocal. Like he's a lot of vocal. It keeps us on like schoolwork too. It's not just about basketball. It's about education too. So he always stays on us about that.
So he's really, really interested in what you guys are doing academically as well.
Yeah, like the school or like he keeps track of all that.
What are some of your goals for the season?
Hopefully I'll win the NBL championship in the league, and that's really it to me. I just like to win. That's what's important to me, is winning games.
Any games you're looking forward to? I mean, you guys still got Troy, Sydney, Tip City as well.
I'll say Sydney and Troy and West Carrollton.
But West Carrollton again?
Yeah.
You guys haven't played them yet. And the West Carrollton's been pretty good in basketball the last few years. Well, Dre, we haven't really had a chance to talk about football. I know this is the basketball coaches show. Talk a little bit about the football season for you and how that was like. You guys made a huge run, end up losing to the eventual state champions, but what was that like?
It was unreal. It was really exciting. It was cool. Like, it's the environment and everybody coming together, playing as a family, and it was just good overall.
Well, Dre, is there anything else you want to tell the community about coming out here and supporting you guys here at Garber Gymnasium?
Yeah, just come out, really. Everybody come out, and we're going to win all the games. We're doing pretty good so far, so keep coming out.
And you can catch the entire holiday tournament delayed on the Indian Nation Station's YouTube page. We'll be posting the link to the games once they finish, which means game one. After game one finishes, we'll post game one's link. After game two finishes, we'll post game two, so on and so forth with those 4 games. You can catch those December 29th and December 30th right here in Garber Gymnasium. Game one on the 29th will be Graham against Troy Christian. Game two will be our Piqua Indians taking on Fairlawn. So come out and support our Indians as they continue their journey to another victory, trying to get 4-0 next week.
Yes, sir.
Dre, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Indian Nation Station's edition of the Piqua Indians Boys Basketball Coaches Show right here on the Indian Nation Station. For Dre'Sean Roberts, I'm AJ Ganger saying so long, everybody, and Merry Christmas.